welcome to my channel, Fred Makes Things. Today is part 2 of my Sewers Club series. Part 1 was the unboxing of this lovely box, and today part 2 is going to be discussing the project that came inside. As always, these videos are going to be in 4 parts. Part 1 is going to be introduction and discussing what came in the box. Part 2 is putting everything together. Part 3 is pros, cons, and user error. And then part 4 is going to be my final thoughts and sign off. Very quickly, if you don't know what Sewers Club is a monthly subscription box for sewers. Inside you get everything that you need to make one project. That includes fabric, thread, sometimes some bonus items, the pattern, and then for an additional about $10 or so a month, you also get a Notion add-on. I always get the add-ons because, as I say in every video, I am fairly new to sewing. I don't have a lot of Notions, so it's nice to be given, or nice to get it in the box. Some months I really enjoy the Notions, other months I do not. But that's kind of what you get when you get subscription boxes. So anyway, let's talk about what came in this box. I always keep everything that was part of the project in the box that it came in so that I can discuss things quickly. So this month was this reversible grocery bag. Here's a picture of it. And then on the back are the instructions. So yeah, this is the card that came that told me that my color selection was the blue one. My mother-in-law got the pink one, and I heard from my cousin that she also got the blue one. On the back were your bonuses, a fat quarter, the thread that you needed to sew it together, or that you could use to sew it together. And then this month's add-on Notion was the Clover Choco Liner pen. So I'll talk about that in a little bit. So this is what I have left. I didn't use my fat quarter at all because it was bonus. So I have it hanging out. I really love batik. I've mentioned that before. Here's the thread. I used it. The project wasn't quilted or anything, so I have quite a bit of thread left. Right, here's my bobbin. Here's the chalk liner. Or the chalk pen, or whatever they call it. What do they call it? Chalk liner pen. I used it. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Because the fabric was so dark, it was really nice to have this guy handy. And then here are the leftover pieces of my project. I have a bit of this, like the blue coordinating fabric, part B, left because I didn't need a whole lot of it. And I have this tiny, tiny strip of fabric A. And that's it. That's all that I have left from it. So yeah. So now we will discuss part 2. We'll lay this out like I always do, or that I've been doing for the last bit, so you have something nice to look at while we discuss things. How about that? Whatever. Okay, so part 2, putting this guy together. The project was really quite easy this month. First of all, right, as always, you cut or you ironed out your fabric, then you cut it out. You didn't have a whole lot to cut. It was one big piece of fabric A and then two little pieces, two strips of fabric A for the handles of the grocery bag. And then part B, you had 4 strips, 4x10, one of 4x18, and 2 of 2.5 by 6. So cutting it out didn't take very long. The really nice thing about Batik 2 is that it's nice and like, it's a stiffer fabric. So it holds really well and it cuts really, really well. Then we sewed a bunch. We made the handles first. I wasn't feeling like pulling out my sewing machine, so I did things kind of out of order so that I could avoid taking my machine out. I don't know why I wasn't feeling it, but I wasn't. So anyway, I sewed the handles together. I sewed the tie strip thing together. I ironed out the edges of the giant piece of fabric, like the main body of the bag. And then I actually had to pull out my sewing machine. So from ironing all of that, I sewed all of the strips together that you needed to. Then I took the 4 pieces that are on the edge of the large main body of the bag that was like the slots for your handles, tunnels for your handles, we'll say. Sewed that in. I thought it was quite clever how they had you do that, but I'll talk about that during pros, cons, and user error. Then from there, so then I made the tunnels for the handles. Then they had you fold everything together in like an accordion kind of fashion to kind of create like the body of the bag. Then you sewed the 4, you sewed the 2 2.5 by 6 inch strips of fabric B onto the ends, securing your bag, which again was a really cool way of doing it. Then you added the fastener to the strip, the bag strip, and then you were done. So it took me like half an hour to cut everything out and maybe 2 hours to sew it all together. So it was a nice, quick project. Hopefully my explanation made sense. I'm feeling a little sick today, so hopefully I didn't just ramble through that and it made sense. But anyway, I'm sure you want to see what it looks like. So here we are. So this is it folded up. I have some extra thread I need to cut off. All right, here's the snaps that you had to hand stitch on. All right, so here's your it's too big for the camera. But anyway, here's this side here, right, with your strap, your edge, right? Here's your other side. The handles are a bit beat up because I've been like messing around with it here at the house, kind of playing with it, right? Here's the tunnel that they were talking about, right? And then if you look on the side, you can see how it's all accordioned together, and that gives you like a really nice deep bag. So what's cool about this is you pull like the handles and then you get like a like a pretty large bag. I'll insert photos of it hanging with like stuff inside of it so you can get a better idea of what it looks like. But there you go. So it is reversible. So this is the one side, right? You'd have with the tunnels and this binding section pointing up, and then you can turn it inside out, right, which tucks the binding section into the interior. Right, and then it creates this lovely little detail on your corner instead, which I kind of like. So yeah, and then to fold it back up again, you turn it back inside out. You pull your sides flat. Everything goes flat. You fold these together. I fold my two edges, one slightly down from the other, and then I fold it again. And when I fold it a second time, the edges meet up. Wrap it around, snap it closed, and there you go, ready to throw into your purse. So yeah, let's talk pros, cons, and user error. Pros. I like the new methods of doing things. Like I like how they kind of did the strap like this, right? How nice and simple. I like how they bound the edges so that like it kind of comes all together. I really like how they did the handles, right? Like these tubes, right? That the handle sits inside of. I really like that idea. I also like the idea of folding it all up like an accordion and having all of these flaps so that when it opens nice and big. Yeah, I like how easy the project was. I was really excited about that because like last month's project was quite labor intensive. So it was nice having a bit of a break with this one. Cons. I don't really like this sew on snap. I made a mistake with it the first time and had to tear it out and do it again. So I don't really like that. But I think that's it, really. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that's it. The only con is I don't really like the sew-on snap. But I'm not familiar enough with fasteners and stuff to know if there was a different option that would have worked. I thought like a magnetic snap would work better, but then you'd have to like deal with the interior of the strip so that you don't have like your fastener showing. So for how it's supposed to function, I think it's pretty great. The other con, and it's more just like a personal thing, is I'd hoped that the interior would be a different color. Like I thought the interior might have been this coordinating blue, but it's just the other side of the batik fabric, like the main body fabric. And as I was putting it together, I could see why it was like that. So it would have been cool to be able to have like a different colored interior, but I'm kind of happy that I have it being solid as it is. User error. There is some user error on this guy, and also some shortcuts that I took. Sorry, I was seeing something, but it was just the way the light was hitting it. I sewed one of these on wrong, and I had to use a seam ripper to get it off, and now I have a tiny hole on one of these tunnels or tubes. but now that I want to show you, I don't see it. I'm going to just have to like hand stitch it together again. Maybe it got hidden in the seam. Yeah, see, it's right there. So I'm gonna just have to like sew that together a little bit or add like some sort of decal or something to it. So there's that problem. I sewed this strap fastener on wrong and I had to sew it again. My tension was a bit messed up on my sewing machine and I didn't catch it. So some of my handle seams aren't that great. Like this is a bit wonky. And these are a bit wonky, but I think they look okay. Oh, excuse me. I don't know what that is, or that was. That is. Anyway. And I also forgot to do the top stitch on this side of the strap. So I don't think it's a big deal, but if I were to make this bag again, which I'm tempted to do because I really, really like it, I would definitely make sure to like do that and to be a bit more careful with it. I also cheated the system a little tiny bit when I was putting this together, and I could see why it might have been a bit of a bad idea. Mine worked out okay, but it's something to keep in mind. So when you are folding this guy together, right, doing all of these pleats, they want you to like fold this section. Well, here, I'll grab my fat quarter to explain. So pretend like this is your bag, right? Here's your center line here, right? What they wanted you to do is they wanted you to take your edge, say that this was like the distance that you need to make your pleat, take it, fold it like that, right? Baste it down on either side so that this stays perfectly flat, and then take your next pleat, fold it, right? Make sure everything lines up, this side and this side, right? Like you can see that this side's a bit too long. So, right, you fold it to make sure everything is good, like that, right? And then you baste this one in place. And then with your next fold, you do the same thing, right? Until everything lines up perfectly. So you've basted all of this side together down, right? So like a couple of stitches to hold all of your pleats down on this side, right? So you're gonna have like 4 layers of basting on either side of your bag. Then they want you to flip it over and do the exact same on this side, right? So that all of your pleats match up, right? And everything is nice and clean, right? So this side would be this side would be basted, right? The other side would be basted. This would be basted, and this other side would be basted. So that when everything's sitting, all of your pleats match up perfectly here so that it folds up really nicely. Then when all of your pleats are done, then they have you put like your binding strip across this to hold everything in place on both sides, right? So, so like this, right? All of, like this is holding all of your pleats together, right? And masking all of your basting stitches. But because I found that this batik is so nice and stiff, we'll say, I skipped the basting part. Instead, I folded everything together and then clipped them with some quilting clips. And then I quickly did a seam right across here to hold everything together. And then I did the binding of it after. And that was just because I was being a bit impatient. Now, all of my pleats, right, all of my folds line up pretty nicely. Right, but like if you look on the back, you can definitely see that there's some wonkiness to it. Right, now that does not mess with the integrity of the bag or really how easy it is to fold it up. Right, like it still folds together really well, but the pleats aren't as, oops. Yeah, but the pleats aren't as crisp as they could be. Right, so when it's folded back up, right, you can see they're kind of, especially on this side, you can see that the pleats don't line up as well. For me, it's not a big deal, but if I were to make the bag again, I would be a bit more patient and actually follow what they said about sewing each individual pleat down first, and that will give you a much cleaner looking bag. Overall, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but I did want to mention it. So now on to part 4, final thoughts and sign off. Overall, I really liked this project. I liked this project a lot more than I liked last month's project. Like I keep saying, I absolutely love batik. I'm a really big fan of reusable shopping bags as well. This is going to live inside of my purse for a while, and I'll use it probably fairly often. So far, I've only been like hanging around the house with it, but that's mostly because I haven't gone anywhere. I'm thinking of comparing this to some of my other reusable shopping bags that I have lying around the house. If you're interested in me discussing a couple of the different styles of bags that I have, that I've come across, let me know in the comment section. It would be probably a Monday video sometime in April that I would end up doing it. Maybe May, I'm not sure. Because I have quite a bit of my next couple of months planned out already, but let me know if you'd be interested in seeing all these different kinds of bags I have and my opinions on them. But anyway, that was off topic, as I have to go off topic at least once. Yeah, so I really like this bag because it came together so quickly. I do plan on making a couple of more of them. First, I'm going to test this guy out for a little bit, see how I like it, and if I need to make any changes to it. And then, yeah, we'll go from there, I think. The other thing I want to mention too is that I really wanted the pink version of this bag. I really, really like pink. Pink is my favorite color to have and hang around with. Turquoise is my favorite color to wear and decorate with and do all of those fun things with. But pink has my heart as my like favorite, ultimate favorite color. Turquoise is a close second. Like I would never, I shouldn't say never, but I highly doubt I would ever paint like a wall in my house pink, and I've already painted wall turquoise, and I'm considering like some teals and stuff for upstairs. So Big fan of the pink. But looking at the high contrast between the pink base, or the pink fabric, and the main majority B or majority A fabric for it, I'm kind of happy I have this blue instead. Their online tutorial did it with green, and I really didn't like the green. So I'm not a fan of, I don't think I'm a fan of this green combination. I like the pink, but like I said, I think I'm happy I don't have it, because this pink seems really bright. Like, especially in the photo my mother-in-law sent me. I like the subtlety of the two blues together. And if any of you have the purple, I'd be interested to see what you think of it, and if you have the same thoughts that I do about it. Like, is the purple as subtle in the picture as it seems, or is it like a lot brighter like the pink and the greens are? I'd be really curious to hear that. I'd also be curious to hear if any of you have the green fabric, and what you think of those as well. Like, my mother-in-law said the pink was, she thought the pink was a bit too fun to use as for just a shopping bag. But I think after she saw how mine turned out, she may have changed her mind. I'm not sure. Yeah, anyways, that's my main question for you for this one. And then, of course, my usual ones. What do you think of this project? Have you made this project? Do you plan on making this project? What do you think of my creation? Do you think... Actually, I don't know what I was going to say with that one. Do you think I should try remaking this bag? Like I said, it wouldn't be like a remake, revisit. It would just be kind of like, ooh, make myself a couple of more bags. Because, you know, you can never have too many reusable shopping bags. Until I, like, show you how many reusable shopping bags I have. And then you're going to think it's a bit crazy. Anyway, I think that's it. Really, really like this project. Next week's project is going to be part 1 of a 2-part series. Part 1 is the sewing side of it, and then part 2 is something a little bit different. That will be a Monday video. So stay tuned for that. And with that, I'm going to go. Subscribe if you enjoy seeing these sewing kinds of videos. Check out some of my other videos if you're not sure if you want to subscribe or not. Yeah, like the video if you've made it this far, and I really look forward to hearing any of your thoughts on Sewers Club or this project in general. And yeah, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk with you again soon. Bye!